Hello everyone and welcome to Games, Comics and Crafts.
In this video, I'll be looking at G.I. Joe issue 1. Okay, so this is the first issue of G.I. Joe from Skybound, the Energon Universe version. Um, Went with the Baroness cover. I think one of 3 versions of the Baroness. There's Baroness. I think there's a piecemeal Baroness one and another one. Anyway, this is one I thought was pretty cool. So I went with this one. So we open up with Duke's flashback to seeing the Transformers and basically smashing the bats up and all this kind of stuff and joining up. And then off they go. They've got their jetpacks. Um, they're fighting drones. Baroness goes in with a knife, and their backpack fails, and they're kind of trying to um, rescue her. So Duke shoots the drones, goes through, and he's trying like, okay, what are you trying to do? It's like we're kind of trying to get your backpack working and stuff like that. And they kind of come down the ground, and it turns out it's a training program. It's just kind of a train. It says, okay, we can't do this. You basically it's still early days, but yeah, it looks like we're not ready. Um, so interesting enough, they name all the characters off in this one. So we get Rock and Roll, Stalker, Covergirl, Clutch, Baroness. I'd never heard of Covergirl. I thought originally that might have that was going to be Scarlet. Obviously, Scarlet is a G.I. Joe operative in the Scarlet miniseries, but she's nowhere to be seen in this, which is interesting. Um, so I assume she's not a new one for this one. Another thing as well is that kind of as much as like the Baroness's kind of costume in this one, I kind of understand that the star is kind of to replace the Cobra symbol, but she doesn't seem really that enamored with the group. And the idea she's got a massive star on her chest to kind of like go like, oh yeah, I'm kind of like an all-American hero. It's like that seems wrong. I would have had it. I've had it plain or some kind of decorative motif or I don't know something non-star related. But again, it's not a bad look. It just doesn't seem to be within her personality. Anyway, so we cut to Springfield, which is what I love because I remember the old Marvel comics used to have the false Springfield area that used to have all of the Cobra stuff going on. Um, so Cobra Commander apparently is giving himself a new hand or repairing his hand. Um, and they've got these new guns, and these guns apparently shoot lasers. They shoot energon, um, which is quite cool. Which kind of ties in with the movie version of G.I. Joe, and I assume the TV series, because again, I've not seen many episodes, but I would say if we're going by the 80s, 90s cartoon rules, no real guns, just laser guns. Until you get to Batman, of course. That's okay. So this guy's in Abu Dhabi, and I don't know who he is, but apparently he's a G.I. Joe member of some sort, or at least a potential G.I. Joe member. Anyway, he's kicking the cack out of everybody here. Um, Risk. Don't know who you are. I don't know. I ain't got a clue. Then we go back to the pit, and they kind of again explaining that it's going on your first mission. He's not ready. It's like we don't need everyone to be like you, Duke, because the point of the GIJ teams are everyone's an individual. They've all got their own skills to come together. Um, and having loads of you would be good, but it wouldn't be as good as having multiple personalities and opportunity and kind of skill sets, which is exactly what we've got. Anyway, so Duke shows stuff about Prime. And they talk about this falling part of the Cybertron, which we've got, and Destro's doing the same thing. And they're basically saying that Mars Industries are involved. So off they go. They're trying to transport this little fragment out, and someone's going to steal it, and it looks like Cobra is going to steal it. They've got the cool helicopters, which I remember as a toy, the little single-person helicopters. Um, and Cobra kind of come flooding in. Baroness is kicking the cack out of everyone. Um, there's a grenade, goes off right on Stalker's foot again. So he doesn't, he doesn't. We don't know if he survives. There's a kind of explosion. He gets out, and then these guys show up. I'm not sure who these are. Um, but don't know if this is supposed to be the twins. But I don't recognise them as I recognise them as figures, but I've got no idea who they are. So they're fighting. And Rock and Roll is kind of, injured from the blast and all this kind of stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll get in there. I can do something about it." He goes in, and he is immediately cut down by laser fire. No, they said that this was going to be an issue where something, you know, surprising would happen, like Energon Universe was, Energon Universe, like Void Rivals was before we really knew Void Rivals was a Transformers thing, and Transformers One obviously had some changes in this and the other. Um, Honestly, when I got to this point, I thought, hold on, wait a minute. I thought Cover Girl was the fake character that they put in there, like the red shirt character. So, it's like, hey, or like Suicide Squad. Hey, remember all these five DC villains? And this guy you've never seen before. One of these people will die. And I thought, oh, Cover Girl. She's not a character I recognise. Maybe it's going to be her. And then we got to this point. It's like, oh, what? Okay, you killed Rock and Roll, right? Okay, that's crazy. So, or maybe they haven't. Maybe they're going to rebuild him, or I don't know. Anyway, again, as I've mentioned before in my many reviews of these GI Joe books, I don't know an awful lot about these characters, so I don't have the probably the most ones I know are Scarlet, Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, kind of those kind of eras. Rock and Roll, don't really know. Zartan, I remember Zartan. Remember liking Zartan a lot. I was hoping he was going to show up, but he never did. Um, anyway, we have a dead character in issue one, which I suppose is interesting. And he's also shown up in other stuff, so it's not as though it's completely like a one issue character where you're supposed to feel something about it. Anyway, going on from now, it looks like we have 3 Energon Universe books. Transformers, Void Rivals, then G.I. Joe. And hopefully they're going to come out in that order. Continuity wise, as I said before, they're a little bit out of sync somewhat with Transformers and this, because Transformers has got his tanks that belong to Mars, whereas Mars in this is part of Cobra, and I think they're slightly out. But the Transformers one might be a little flashback for Starscream, so I don't know. We'll get to that when we come to it. So, but yeah, all in all, not a bad book. Oh, there's the other covers. Yeah, there's that one was pretty decent. The Baroness one, or the big Baroness one. Those, but yeah, all in all, not a bad little collection of covers. But I went for this one. So yeah, so again, not a bad issue as such. Introduction to kind of this version of GI Joe. Definitely one that I immediately just go, yeah, not interested. I'm just gonna get the other two. I think this is going to tie in quite nicely. We've already integrated Energon into the mix and stuff like that. So I think if they can kind of still kind of get that kind of connection to the Energon universe, with not out explicitly having to have a Transformer appear every 3 issues, I think it's going to be pretty decent. But yeah, all in all, not too bad. So there you go. So thanks very much for listening to me ramble on, and hopefully I will see you on another video very, very soon. Bye bye.